What's up, guys? I just upgraded my phone, so hopefully the capture hopefully nothing happens with the recording of as I'm reviewing Inside Out 2. Now, pretty much who is best to actually review this than somebody that does live in the Bay Area, same place where Riley lives, like in the woods or something. There's the amount of like flashbacks that I get when watching this. I'm very curious of Riley becoming an adult. I just got a feeling she's gonna get some tats. Come on, tats! But no, seriously. I mean, come on, the red hair already, gives that up already. But, anyways, Inside Out 2, the continuation of Riley's life and the emotions. Pretty much, we have some new characters here. We have some new folks that are pretty much added up. I did not know that joy and anxiety is a girl. Did not know that. Like moments, pretty much for a good reason. Like not that she should be a girl, or could be. I don't know. Like what was that non-binary? But yeah, this movie itself, and I'm gonna try to review this without getting canceled. It is good. It is a good time. It is also relatable. It's also, as somebody that really enjoyed the first Inside Out, I was so happy to see Inside Out 2. Just seeing because here's the thing. This movie itself, this series, is a coming of age of just like, it's the most coming of age that I ever seen. That's for damn sure. And it's the coming of age of emotions that comes in. Like, I don't know what else other emotions that will be entering, like, in the next time we see Riley or the next Inside Out. But, at least these emotions that are still there. But even though that anxiety and the newer emotions pretty much, like, dominated most of Riley's brain, like, yeah, I pretty much I was interested to see a lot more of what they can do with these new emotions that I guess most teenagers felt and most like people that are growing up felt. Still to this day, I feel some anxiety, especially when you're out in public or something like that. Anxiety can sometimes, and I like how they portray it, it can sometimes basically be the enemy. The reason why you prevent having friends and the reason and pretty much and for this particular movie, I know that for those that follow my channel, you probably know who I'm talking about or something. I could bring my example or my friend's example. For this one, I'm not really gonna say my friend's name. You already know his name, but it's for a good reason because this movie itself, it's really deep with the anxiety. It really showcases of what anxiety, what shyness, what basically like touchy or whatever this character with the eyes, popping out next to anxiety or something, or just, being chill or some what just the new emotions. It definitely showcased like what these new emotions, and if you pay attention, like it's something that can almost be like sort of like a passageway of just like the reason of why we act, the reason why we lose friends, the reason why sometimes there's emotions inside of us that does conquer us. And a lot of times that's probably not good because if you see the movie, and I don't know if I'm gonna get into spoilers here, mild spoilers, because I feel like you should definitely watch it, is that the emotions itself that could end up in a very bad way. And I get that most movies that Pixar makes and Disney or whatever, they're usually a good message. This one could easily turn into a bad message of just like of Riley falling into a very like she almost literally had a seizure, and I'm just like, oh God, she I know that she doesn't look like she was gonna die. Then again, I wouldn't know. Hopefully I didn't spoil that, but it's not really spoiled. But really, that like I don't know where she would end up, and I don't know how like she would really what else to recover than that, other than thank goodness that pretty much it was all okay then as usual. And this is kind of like it has its typical tropes just like any other Pixar movie, but it brings out a bit more emphasis on like what the emotions and the understanding of how that gets to you. It's kind of also very relatable, especially still now. Anxiety, a lot of times prevents. Look, I freaking bit my tongue. Jeez Louise. The anxiety prevents people like me going outside. It prevents me of actually. I bite my tongue again. Jeez Louise. I have this bump in my tongue, and I just keep biting it, and it kind of just emphasizes of just like how I'm really like letting you know about what I'm trying to freaking say here. That anxiety. The reason why I say it's an enemy sometimes it's going to be the reason why we're all going to be alone, that we're all thinking, because soon made me it okay, it soon spoke to me, and this is how I look at it. It soon spoke to me in a sense that you being shy and alone is never going to get you anywhere in life, because you can't really go out in life alone. Nothing works out alone. Nobody can thrive really alone. And even if they did, they wouldn't really be happy. And I felt that through this movie. And that's what really got to me within the emotions, is that we all grow up, and understanding how hard that is the most honest way of looking at it. No matter how chill you are, how shy, but when anxiety comes in, it really is like that basically that, but what's stabbing you in the back of just like most of relationships that you're trying to build. Because what really comes down to it is pride. Knowing that you think you got everything and you are on your own for the most part, and thinking that that's going to be like the end and all be all of just like what your life is in the way you want it. It's not that simple, because that's not how, no matter where you cut the cake or where you basically walk the path, it never is going to be perfect. And I think when you have so many people around you or something, or at least the ones that you love and the ones that can help you, that can actually guide you into, a better life. I don't know. I always, when I look at Inside Outs, and there's one thing about this movie, is that I look for answers for a lot of things in life, especially when it comes down to movies and video games. And when seeing something like this, it's almost like, a mentor just talking to you and like, hey, let me tell you. Because the thing is that for a person like me that doesn't really have any, sense of therapy of any sorts, and I should, like, this is the closest that pretty much kind of relieves me to actually show that, to actually have a bit of therapy and know the ideas and the concepts of what goes down within, really speaking to someone. I feel like this would be a better time to actually, if I was like sponsored by BetterHelp, man, that would be helpful in this case. But I did reference my friend, and pretty much the thing is that right now he's, and the reason I don't want to say his name, but if you probably know his name, he's probably watching this, and I'm probably like, outing him, but I'm just gonna leave it as a secret for now. He is at this point where he's alone, and there's a part of me, and he knows this, and we talked about it. I was like, listen, you gotta take risk. Life itself doesn't happen if you just don't go out. And then again, I say the same thing to myself. But there's times where you're either ready or not ready. And if you are not ready in the most times of your life, then what kind of life is that? Life is just not fun when, disasters happen, just like what this movie has. Like, can you imagine like everything just joyful and everything's fine and dandy? Boring. But when it has some emotion, when it really speaks to people, because this movie can relate to a lot of people, especially adults, it is something that is more than what you are, instead of like what you want. You know what I mean? I don't know, like this movie itself, like especially when Riley was entering school the first time, and out of all places that it's really not school, it's a freaking hockey academia or whatever. Okay, my hero, freaking hockey academia, that she enters in, becoming like a hockey player, and not not going well because especially how her emotions get to you. Like movies like this, specifically Inside and Out, it showcased that things can be fine. Things can be okay. I know that, for example, within my life, living with my parents, like it's okay. But it is really gonna be okay every single day? Of course not. There's stuff where I question, what the heck are they mad about? What did I do? I didn't do anything. And that's pretty much, they tell me that's the problem. You're doing nothing in the freaking house. You're just supposed to clean. And like, you didn't tell me that. And these emotions, they keep coming in. It's like clash after clash. It's like I'm basically minding my damn business, but I guess that's the problem. And you kind of find that as well within a relationship. Like you're not doing anything wrong. You're doing nothing, but at the same time, doing nothing could get you in trouble. And basically sometimes, it's like this argument within myself of just being nice, and for whatever reason that gets me in trouble. Being nice apparently gets me in trouble, but it shouldn't. It shouldn't get me in trouble. It should like help me. It should, be like, a good thing. Hello. Like whatever happened to that? And the thing is that what this movie is really, telling, and what's really speaking within the world, basically, humans are complicated. Because with you have all these emotions. Right now, what you see in the screen are these emotions. I guarantee you, within the world we live in, what did I sound like? The freaking chill emotion. Hello, bonjour. Within the world we live in, within the world we live in, like there's people that have way more emotions than what you see here. You have joy, you have anger, you have, anxiety, you have this and that. It's not that simple. I feel like in the world, within humans specifically, like for example, my friend that I mentioned could have like 12 different types of anxiety. And that's a lot of anxiety. And that's not good. And if you've seen the movie already, spoiler alert, it freaking drives you down almost close to death. I feel like that's not a spoiler, but even though I already spoiled, I feel like I probably should put like a spoiler warning when I'm talking about this movie. But when seeing how complicated people are, it's a good thing that movies like this exist, because it does show that people are complicated. Like I know that pretty much like the oldest stories before, especially the Bible. What in earth did the world have? Like, why did the world decide to take out one of the nicest person that became our Lord? You know, and like, what did Jesus do to deserve all this? You kind of wonder, because people are up in their own nose about like what they want or what pride they have, and it soon drives them into a crazy man. And sometimes you just have to have a center, and that's why you have your family, parents, the people that you love, people in general, instead of being alone in the streets. Like the reason why that we're kind of like have this comfort, it's not just the comfort, it's the people that surrounds us to let us know that, hey, everything is going to be okay. I know it seems crazy. Everything's going to be okay. And I know that maybe I'm just mixing up certain levels of, narrative in this movie, but it still comes down into the basic elements of just like what this movie is trying to preach, is that people are just so complicated. You can never make sense. I can never make sense within myself. I sometimes wish that I can have emotions that are human like, kind of like what you see here, anthropomorphic emotions, and just basically have a conversation like why? Why do I feel like this? Why is it that this is what I felt? Why is it but the more I grow up, the more I understand. And that's the thing about growing up, is that when you have you like every time you grow up, there's a climax that is heavier than the last. Because and it's like an action Mission Impossible movie within your mind, because you try to understand like how or why. I really felt Riley the moment when she realizes that she it wasn't going to be good enough to be in this hockey academy. And that hurts because I felt that we're not good enough. And sometimes when we're not good enough, that could also be determined for our future in life, even though that there's more to come. But the one thing that we love is going to be stripped away from us because we didn't achieve that. How many people that you heard that basically, you know, wanted to be this or wanted to be that, dream of this? I dream of, really becoming a YouTuber. Nowadays, I just hate it. I was like, man, I'm tired of this YouTube stuff, man. This is just this is tiring. You know? But do I really felt that way? There's times where I'm like, man, I'm happy to be a YouTuber. But there's times where I kind of wish I don't want to be YouTube because I know I'm going to get terminated next year again. I know YouTube's got to do something to my channel. And there's nothing I can freaking do about it. And that's going to be the worst loss. But at the same time, I'm happy that at least there's people in this world that freaking know me just through my YouTube channel. They don't know me in real life, but they know, like, what I'm really going through, the emotions. And the thing is that it would be boring if I didn't share all that, despite how unfortunate some of the videos of how my life sucks. But I'm very thankful that at least there's someone there that can hear it. So at least I'm hoping, there's at least someone. And I'm counting that there is someone that is praying for me that, hey, that, bless this man that is ranting about whatever he's ranting about. Hope he's okay. And to that person, thank you. But also, man, this movie itself, I never thought it would speak to me this much than it would. I know it is Inside Out is a therapeutic, just fairy tale. It's a happy and yet sad and kind of like real movie. But even though like I wasn't feeling much emotions through the movie because I kind of knew like all the tropes and all the the keys and whistles and bells and stuff, it still sort of like influence, I guess, in my head of just like what the movie's trying to tell me. And I can almost picture that of just like, man, this movie itself, it is truly like is it a masterpiece? It's half a masterpiece, I would say, if I'm being generous. It is half a masterpiece, but it is fully something that is needed. Is needed. Not just for teenagers that are like, especially folks that are Riley's age. It's basically for anyone that are just everybody that are going through emotions. And I kind of just see that through Riley of just like what she's going through. And she's still a kid within the stories that we see her. But when she grows up, like I'm just looking forward to that day. That when she grows up, that her earlobe would develop and her mind would be open way more. Because that's the beauty of growing up. You realize things in your life. And you know how to overcome them because you practice in your mind. Because a lot of times, the biggest practice training field that we have as humans is within our mind, our emotions, what goes in our head. We think about it. We still think about it, even though we don't think about it. But we still think about it because it develops us as human beings as we grow up. And I realize that as I'm almost turning 30, like I understand. Like, yeah, growing up sucks, but man, I don't know where I would be if these unfortunate moments didn't help me develop because, it speaks to us. And now, I don't know if I spoiled the movie. I don't know if I even freaking reviewed the movie. I'm telling you my thoughts. This is, like, I'm not, listen, I'm not a freaking movie review channel. Okay, let me tell you that. I'm just a channel. I'm just a human being that loves to speak here in this TED Talk because I just feel like it. I'm just dancing right now. But, hopefully whatever I put in this video can help others. But definitely it would help you a lot to basically watch Inside Out too because it is good. And also, yes, I saw Young Yao. That was funny. I saw that moment when, like he plays the video game character. I'm like, what's going on here? First, Kiryu in this, okay. I saw a Blue's Clues type character in there, okay, and the Dark Emotions. I'm like, wonder what that could be. And we're in the same place as we were in Inside Out 1. Instead, like, we're in, like, different areas, and also the pulling area. Like, I kind of forgot about the last Inside Out, but for this one, like, I don't know. Like, it's been a while since I watched the last Inside Out. I could have done a rewatch of that. I watched it. It's done. It's in the past. And now I move on to the next one, which is something that is, within the story. Like, you kind of move on to the next one. A new memory develops each time as you grow. And yeah, I don't know. I guess, there is much more, and I say this in every review, way more qualified people to review this movie. And I'm not one of them. I'm just telling you what affects me. And that's the beauty of YouTube itself. Different perspectives, and my perspective is definitely probably not reviewing the damn movie. It's probably my emotions that takes it and manifest it, and I tell you this movie with a little bit of life experience. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you subscribe, like, comment, adjust. I'll see you. Yeah, a little bit of peace, and that was Inside 2 review. God bless.